Hello everyone, my name is Naledi Mfoloe and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Today we dive deep into the currents of information, from the pulse of politics to the heartbeat of entertainment. We've got it all covered, so please stay tuned for news experience like no other. Today we delve into a provocative documentary that has sparked considerable debate. British journalist Ade Putin claims to be the first black man to spend a week in the controversial town of Orania, which is in the Northern Cape of South Africa. Now, his documentary, Whites Only, Ade's Extremist Adventure, airing on the UK's Channel 4, alleges unsettling realities about this self-proclaimed Afrikaner enclave. Now, in his documentary, Ade describes Orania as the whitest place on earth. He highlights an unsettling rise in right-wing separatism. His narrative aims to uncover the motives behind creating an exclusively white settlement in post-apartheid South Africa. But how accurate are his claims? Let's take a look.
We're going to build the wall. We have no choice.
All over the world, right-wingers are preaching separatism.
We will get our borders back.
And war is being waged on multiculturalism.
I've always maintained multiculturalism doesn't work.
Build that wall!
But in South Africa, they've gone one step further.
Welcome, Orania.
And built a white-only town.
You look a bit threatening with that brick coming towards me.
We're just trying to have our Afrikaner culture and to be able to live it out.
I'm Adia Depitan.
What's up, boss?
Proud British Nigerian.
Excuse me, sorry.
From the melting pot of East London. After months of negotiation, I'm about to become the first black person ever to spend a week in Orania.
The Black Lives Matter riots, they can vote.
I don't go out rioting.
Please don't.
To me, they seem like racists.
No one's going to shoot someone outside the Church of God, surely.
Yeah.
But I'm going to set aside my prejudices.
What about dating a black person?
I don't really feel qualified to answer that question.
And see if racial separatism can ever be justified. I was surrounded by racist murderers from the apartheid regime. What kind of twisted thinking is that?
Now, Ade narrates his journey through Orania against the backdrop of global right-wing politics. During his 10-day stay, he interviews various residents, explores local institutions, and also confronts the town's management on their ideologies.
One of the first things I was shown when I came here was that hill. And I was surrounded by statues of people who would hate someone like me. And I say this because, you know, Vavut, it was your grandfather?
Yes.
Yeah. He was seen as the architect of apartheid. I don't feel it's very progressive when you're celebrating people who have destroyed so many people's lives.
I understand that perspective, because that perspective is the dominant perspective at the moment.
But it's the truth.
It's a truth that needs qualification. I personally did not learn to hate, or that any of these policies was built on hate.
So you don't believe they were built on hate, those policies?
They were not built on hate.
But if that's not on hate, then it feels like that's more on ignorance and if you don't mind me saying, stupidity. Given that apartheid began with a form of segregation, how is this place any different?
There are obviously some similarities, but we are not excluding anybody per definition because they are of this or that racial category.
There's not many people of colour here, apart from me.
I understand where you're going with that, but I would argue that this community called the Afrikaners has the need and the right to have a home as well.
The documentary reaches a boiling point when Ade is actually denied entry to the church service after attempting to interview their congregation. Let's have a look.
All careful. Should we go outside? Should we go out? We'll go outside. Okay. I will speak to you. So we just got kicked out of church. It's not very neighbourly or godly. I thought this was all about friendliness and community. We just wanted to meet the pastor. But yeah, they have bouncers. They have bouncers at church here in Orania.
Canils goes back in to try and smooth things out.
You're not looking happy. There's not a smile on your face.
Not happy, no. No, we're not welcome anymore. I've just noticed that the bouncers are all armed with sidearms, so it might be a good idea to get out of here.
I mean, no one's going to shoot someone outside the Church of God. I mean, surely there's a limit to your security.
Yeah.
Juice Strydom, CEO of Orania movement, expresses dissatisfaction with the portrayal of the community, accusing Channel 4 of perpetuating prejudice narratives. Strydom insists that Orania's principles are rooted in self-determination rather than racial exclusion.
This place scares me, right? I always worry when Afrikaners talk about a homeland. I don't know whether we can trust you.
Yeah.
Do you want to see South Africa that's together? That's one nation.
In one nation, the moment we are entering on this modernist concept of national unity, especially in terms of a multicultural population, we are entering into the domain of social engineering.
But it works in other countries. I live in the UK. It's very multicultural.
Let's be clear. When an enclave is created with specific racial demographics in mind, it actually perpetuates division rather than fostering unity. It sends a message, whether intentionally or not, that coexistence and integration are less desirable, or rather less attainable, than separation. This not only contradicts the principles of equality and inclusiveness, but it also hinders the process of reconciliation and understanding among diverse groups. Now, the reaction to Ade's documentary extends beyond local grievances. It opens a broader conversation on local enclaves and separatism in a country still healing from apartheid wounds. Communities like Orania raise uncomfortable questions about race relations and segregation's ghost in modern South Africa. And while they claim self-determination, honestly, it's crucial to understand how these actions are actually perceived globally and within the country. These documentaries force us to confront that truth, but also carry the risk of deepening divides if not approached with a nuance and genuine understanding. And now, as we dissect both sides of this continuous issue, it's essential to consider that labels and narratives wield significant power. Now, is Orania a harmless experiment in cultural preservation or a disturbing throwback to racist ideals? Can such community coexist with the larger value of an inclusive society? These are the questions that are asked in the documentary, and responses obviously will vary depending on one's perspective. But in my opinion, the very concept of creating an enclave in a country predominantly inhabited by Black people carries an uncomfortable echo of apartheid-era separations. And although motivations may vary from cultural preservation to security concerns, these justifications cannot mask the troubling reality that segregation, by design, actually fundamentally at odds with the vision of a united, inclusive society. Now, let's remain engaged in this challenging conversation as we await further developments, including formal complaints lodged against Channel 4 for alleged inaccuracies. While we wait, let's engage in the comments section, please. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts in regards to this? And also, while you're at it, please give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye for now.